Welcome to Family Gamer TV. It's here, Star Wars Twilight of the Republic content. Get this game started. As it loads up, have a look at some of the figures we're going to be putting on that Infinity base. Let's see what they are. We've got Stephen Stanion from Ninja Theory to talk us through the game. They're the guys behind games like Devil May Cry, Heavenly Sword, bringing in some of that AAA, perhaps more core fighting mechanics to this part of Disney Infinity 3.0. So, we're going to get the game started and see what it's got, jump in some different levels, get some different characters on that base, and basically get excited about Star Wars. So Richard, over to you.
So what we're showing here is the first mission, which is on Geonosis. The gameplay is it's pretty linear, this first level, just to break you into the combat system. A lot of our stuff is actually a lot more open beyond this, so we've got like a couple of other planets. We've got Coruscant and we've got Tatooine. They're a lot more open, allow you to explore, allow you to pick up missions freely, lots of collectibles and stuff like that. But this particular one is a bit more traditional to the kind of stuff we usually do. So it's linear, there's combat arenas, there's breaks, there's traversal in between. The story here on Geonosis is that there's a droid factory that's been activated, and that's why there's droids all on the loose here. So a lot of inspiration from the second movie in this one. So you're fighting across Geonosis in order to make your way to the droid factory and find out who's activated it and why. So what we're going to do is show off some of the combat. I think, what character are we using first, Colin? Right, so as you mentioned in the presentation, Anakin fights with a kind of very aggressive style. He's all about fighting one-to-one with people with really powerful aggressive combos. His particular force power is force pull, so that allows you to pull guys towards you, like so. Do you want to stick it on extreme difficulty, Colin? What we've done is we've leveled up these characters to level 20 so that we can show you the full array of moves you get. As you level up individual levels, you can unlock the individual powers. So what we're doing, we're leveling them right up, and we're going to put it on extreme difficulty as well, so you can see what it feels like to unleash plenty of moves against them. So we've done a lot of work on the battle spectacle of this, because we really want to show that you're in and amongst a battle that's going on, so we want it to be nice and high octane, plenty of action. There's traversal elements, so it's not all just melee combat. See, we've got lightsaber deflection there. If you time one of those perfectly, then you can deflect the lightsaber bolts back at the enemies. That's Colin there showing the launcher, knocking the enemies up into the air. We just start you off nice and easy, fighting some battle droids. So these are kind of like the grunts, the guys that you see in big numbers. We've got like a good mix of ranged and melee guys. So that's Anakin's like dash attack. What if you do a dash and then hammer the attack button, he'll do like a flurry of moves. You see there we've got droid slicing as well, so you can chop bits off them and they'll kind of flail around. We use the Force not just for combat, but in environment interaction as well. These are BX droids. They're like commando droids from the Clone Wars TV show. We're using them to have vibro blades here, so these are a cool melee enemy that we introduced early.
Do you have upgrade trees like before?
Yeah, so what we've got is the upgrade system. I think there's 4 branches in total, and as you level up you can unlock 1 power from a branch. So a lot of the moves you're seeing here, like the pause combos and like there's force finishes and things, the dash attack, things like upgrading health, the lightsaber deflection, all of that kind of stuff. That's stuff that you unlock over time. I mean, this is really important actually for a combat game, is to have meaningful upgrades. I mean, you can see all the sparks here that you're collecting. When you collect the orange sparks, they're the things that eventually levels you up. So having a meaningful upgrade system is really important for a combat game.
Has that changed since 2.0? Have you improved that?
So I think the only difference is that 2.0's was on a single unlock tree, whereas ours is now split up into categories. So it's easier for players to understand the different areas of upgrades. So you know, oh, this is me upgrading my lightsaber powers, this is me upgrading my force powers, and so on. So it's a little bit easier to understand. Do you want to switch out to a different character, Cole, and we can try a different one?
In terms of keeping it a Peggy 7 game, was there any things that you needed to be careful of doing in the combat?
I think we're kind of lucky in that fighting droids, especially in this section, because they're non-human enemies, it's not really a problem.
You can slice them up without worrying about it.
Well, because they're toys as well, that affords you a lot of freedom. Even the humanoid enemies are toys. So and we never really get too graphic or brutal with this stuff. It's all nice and family friendly.
Is there any gameplay difference between the PS4, Xbox One, and the previous gen?
No, they're all very much comparable experiences. We understand that because Infinity is a family game, that there's going to be a whole array of consoles that this is going to be played on, and things like hand-me-down consoles as well, from, like you say, from the last generation. So it was really important for us that people get a great experience no matter what console they're playing on. So that's actually really important for us. Each character feels unique or has a different play style. We really mean that in that they do actually feel tangibly different to play. So Ahsoka's big thing is that she attacks with very sweeping attacks. So if you're attacking lots of enemies at once, she's really good in this kind of situation. Like her dash attack is a windmill, so if you dash and you start hitting the attack button, then she starts doing like a windmill around that you can move around and start hitting multiple enemies around you. So all of the characters have access to the same core combat controls, but the main thing is obviously, like I say, they're slightly contextually different. Ahsoka's force power is push, so whereas Anakin's was pulling enemies towards you, Ahsoka's pushes enemies away. We have these like nice little slow-mo finishes as well as like punctuating the combat, so that there's a nice pace to it. The player understands that when they get that slow-mo character, they're like, cool, I finished this wave, and now we kind of set you up for the next one. This is where you're defending Master Plo Koon as he hacks his way into the droid factory. You might have seen earlier, Colin collected a crossover coin. He collected the Darth Maul crossover coin, which means if you have Darth Maul, once you've collected that, you can use him from that point onwards.
If you've got the toy as well?
Yes, that's right. So, you need because he's a villain character, you need to collect that crossover coin. That's why we put it nice and early in the playset. You can't really miss it. After you've been playing the game for 5 minutes, that's the point when you unlock Darth Maul. You can actually play as any of the other Star Wars characters. So we say if it's within the universe, then you're able to play as that character within each of the playsets. So, for example, you can take Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi and play as that character in, like, the Rise of the Empire playset, for example.
And would there be a crossover coin for each of those characters you need to find first?
That's correct, yeah. So these are the B2 droids. These are the first ones that really require you to have a bit more tactical thought about them. Now, there's a couple of ways you can take this on. You can either just kind of go in there and start wailing on them, but you will get taken out. So, Cole, did you want to switch to a different character when you've died? So now that we've collected the Darth Maul crossover coin, here we go. We can come in as Darth Maul. Like I say, these guys take a little bit more tactical thought, so blocking helps with these guys. Kind of getting in there, striking, and then getting back out, that kind of stuff. Using your recovery, so if you do get knocked back, you can recover and land on your feet, that kind of thing.
In the Marvel adventure last year, you had limited number of lives, so you could only bring a character in if it hadn't died. Is that the same in Star Wars? So
it's if a character, you're able to switch characters when you die. They do have a respawn rate on them, so if you wait a certain amount of time, then they become available for selection again. That's right. But we do have checkpoints as well, so if you do run out of characters, then you can just jump straight back in at a recent checkpoint.
Thanks, Steve, for that inside track on Twilight of the Republic. It's looking really good. Of course, if you subscribe to Family Game TV, we can let you know when we have more content on Disney Infinity 3.0, and we're hoping to get something up on Inside Out, that playset, and also Rise of the Empire playset in the coming days and weeks. And we'll also be tracking with your comments, so do let us know what you think of this first footage of hands-on with the game. Is it going to be something you're getting? How are you feeling about LEGO Dimensions and potentially the upcoming Skylanders announcement in light of what you've seen here? We'd love to hear from you. But for now, that's all we've got time for on Family Gamer TV.